I think I think we're going to have to figure that out for however long he's out and however long it takes him to recover from his illness. So, we obviously played some different lineups tonight and lineups that we hadn't played a whole lot of. So that'll be a work in progress for us.
Is it a bigger blow given what he was just able to do the other night against Notre Dame and how well he's seemed to progress that he's going to miss?
Yeah, the hardest thing for me is seeing how disappointed he is to not play. And, when you have an illness like that and there's no telling necessarily how long he's had it. I think that's what we're still trying to figure out. He could have been in a system for a couple weeks. I think the hard thing is telling a young man who was playing so well that he's going to miss at least, one game and maybe a few games or more. So that was, it's disappointing for our team, but EJ was so excited about continuing to play and continue to grow as a player that he's done such an incredible job. So I talked to his mom and dad and brought him in the office, and he was disappointed, but it's the right call, shutting them down for a little while.
All righty, we'll go next to Adam Jardy, Columbus Dispatch.
Chris, you touched on this a little bit in that last answer, but it seems like tonight really shows that you guys continue to be a work in progress. I just wonder, do you like the progress that you're seeing, or where do you think you guys are as far as like figuring out what you can really hang your hat on right now?
I think, I think that's what I've been saying for a couple weeks about us being a work in progress. I think we're not there yet. But a lot of teams aren't. And I think for us, we've got to take and learn from tonight. And just like we have the previous games, obviously the level of competition is going to get raised. So we need to be better. And I think for us, we need to be able to figure out a group that we can consistently rely on, even when you have an injury like or an illness like EJ's. And Kyle was dealing with some ankle soreness tonight as well. So we had some frontline issues that we had to kind of figure out on the fly.
All right, we'll go next to Brendan. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
In the front line, though, you did get some big stuff from Zed tonight. And I know the Notre Dame game wasn't exactly his type of game, but what did you get from him, and how much do you hope that you can bottle that or continue to nurture that going forward?
I thought he was great. I thought Zed was great. Protected the rim, impacted shots. I thought that was maybe his biggest impact, and then he also just brought a physicality to how to tonight. I thought he was tremendous, and certainly earned this moment. As you mentioned, the Notre Dame game was a little bit of a difficult matchup, particularly when they were playing 14 at the 5. But boy, I thought he was tremendous tonight.
Alrighty, next up, Brendan Gulick, Buckeyes Now on SI.
Hey, Coach, congrats on gutting out a win there. I want to ask you a little bit about how you mentioned the different lineups that you kind of put piecemealing things together. Were there specific lineups that when you saw them executing things, even if it didn't turn into a basket, but maybe it was a productive possession or something that you guys are trying to internally measure? Are there a group of guys right now that you look at that you really like?
I think when you're playing this number of different rotations that we played, I think we're still trying to figure that out. I thought the difference in the game was that lineup with CJ and Jimmy, and I believe Justin was in during a spell, Musa and Zed. I thought that group was the difference in the game. They were able to increase the lead a little bit and kind of keep them at bay. And I thought they really shared the ball and played together. I thought that group really gave us a real boost. I think Justice might have been there in their first spell as well. So, I think we're still trying to figure that out.
And one of the things that really stood out to me, I guess, was just the timeliness of some of the big threes you had. I mean, at one point you guys had I think it was 10 straight missed three-pointers. But, boy, when you really, really needed them to stop a Cleveland State run, you got them. It might sound like a silly question, but, I mean, is there something you can attribute that to where, you know, the concentration level or just the ability to knock down a shot in a must-have moment?
Yeah, I thought Jimmy and Justin's were two huge threes. And Brendan, I thought, I think maybe you'd have to ask them that. Maybe their concentration or focus level raised a little bit. But you're right. We missed some open ones. And honestly, we took some bad ones, some rushed ones. I just didn't think we shared it well enough in the first half. And we've got to figure out how to we just have to do that better. We've got to do that better. And that's on me and our guys out there. We've got to move and share the ball better. We didn't do that well enough in the first half.
Alrighty, next up, Whitney Harding, WCMH.
Hey, Chris, you mentioned how physical Cleveland State was. How is that going to help you guys, especially with Big Ten play getting going this week, to have that challenge already under their belt?
Yeah, I do think it'll help, Whitney, for sure. They played differently than Purdue in some ways, in the sense that they really didn't care if they fouled tonight. And they played a really big bench. And again, that's to their credit. That's how they play, and give them a lot of credit, because I thought they brought a real physicality and were clearly the more aggressive team. But Purdue, while they may not foul as much, Purdue applies that kind of pressure. And we've got to handle that better. So we've got to help them as coaches to handle that better than what we did tonight. And hopefully we will. It's obviously coming soon.
With you guys having those frontline issues with EJ out, I mean, getting the ball inside out is going to be huge. So how good was it to see those big threes get knocked down so that those big men have confidence to kick it out?
Yeah, we needed that. I think it just gave us all kind of a shot in the arm because as you mentioned, I didn't know we missed 10 in a row, but we've had nights here where we've not shot it particularly well. But I think that was a real shot on the arm for us, and it created, again, some distance. Jimmy's done that here a couple games now, where he's come in and hit a big three in a critical moment. He's done a really good job in those areas, and I thought he scrapped and got some loose balls as well.
All right, we'll go next to Colin Hass-Hill, 11 Warriors.
Chris, I know Michi didn't play today, but since he was on the bench for the first time today, I was just wondering, now that he's actually here, what are the next steps that you guys have to take to get him to the point where you feel comfortable actually putting him into a game?
It's going to be a while. Yeah, he's got to go through a whole battery of medical exams, and he's got to acclimate himself to conditioning and to practice. He's done a great job kind of staying in pretty good shape, but there's not a chance in the world that we're going to throw a young man until he's absolutely ready into a college practice, much less a college game. So I don't have a specific timeline, Colin, but it will be a while.
Nice.
All right, we'll go next to Steve Hellwagon, 247.
Hey, Coach. You guys had 56 points there in the second half on Tuesday against Notre Dame. And I don't know if there was maybe an expectation that things would come as easily today from your team or not in going up against what was a mid-major, here from the Horizon League. But I don't know, did you get a sense that maybe they were not overcoming the things that Cleveland State was putting in front of them to get those baskets, I guess, in the first half? Just seemed like, I don't know if settle is the right word, but just seemed like the flow that was there in the second half the other day just wasn't there today.
I think there's no question. We didn't play with enough force generally. We just did not play with enough force. So, yeah, I think, Steve, we just, the reasons for that, I've got to go back and watch the tape. And again, give Cleveland State credit for that to some degree. But we clearly have to be better. We've got to coach that better. We've got to play with better with more force against that physicality.
And a couple of your veterans, suing Washington, seemed like they were fighting it a little bit, releasing the ball and just not playing up to maybe what their regular capability is. I don't know. What was your thought? I know Dwayne ends up with 17, but it took a lot of shots to get there.
Yeah, no question. I think they both understand they've got to play better. I think they both understand that, and we've got to help them get to that point. And I think it's a good lesson, good opportunity, good learning moment for us. And I think again that this was the most physical team, certainly the most physical team we've played. I think as this level of competition raises and the physicality raises, we've got to learn from it and get better.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go to Jacob Benji, the Lantern.
Hey, Chris. I just today riding Zed Key while he was hot. What did you think of Kyle Young's play when he was in the game at points? I noticed he only took 2 shots, but what did you think of Kyle Young today?
I think Kyle's, he's fighting some things physically. I think we've got to work to get Kyle doing some things better. I would have liked to seen him rebound the ball a little bit better, but I think overall, some of our veteran guys, we need more stuff from them, and he's one of them, and I fully expect that'll be the case.
Thanks.
All right, and we'll wrap it up with Adam Jardy, Columbus District.
One of the things CJ mentioned was how just adapting and continuing to adjust to the fact there's no fans and just the impact that that's had. And I feel like we haven't really kind of maybe taken a little bit of a bigger picture look with you about what this season has been like so far and playing these games in this environment. And I know there's been conversation about whether games should even be played right now. I just wonder what it's like for you to have these games and how you think your team continues to adapt to the reality that is playing college basketball in 2020.
Yeah, it's different, Adam. It really is different. I don't know that I'll ever get used to walking out to a silent arena. Like it even today, it was a bit startling walking out there to such a quiet, empty place. And I think it really is going to come down to kind of each team's hunger for performing well and playing well, and it's going to come down to execution, because the environment is really neutral in so many ways. So it really does come down to what happens between the lines and obviously the energy that group that you're with can bring. But it's such a neutral environment. It's a very odd experience. And I give our kids credit. I really give our guys credit. I can't say this enough, that we've had 5 games. We've not performed always well in every game. We've had stretches where we're still learning and we're still growing. But this group right now, they want to play. They're anxious to play. They're hungry to play. And, they've navigated their way through playing without fans and playing in an energy that's kind of vacant. And I give our guys a lot of credit for us. We clearly have to be better in a lot of ways, but man, I give our guys a lot of credit. Certainly our medical staff, to get us to this point of being 5-0 before we jump into our last non-conference game and then Big Ten play.
All righty, we'll sneak one last one in from Brendan Gulick.
Thanks. I just wanted to kind of follow up on that, Coach. How much do you think your guys feed off of adrenaline? I think some guys get in big situations and they try to calm down. Some guys are like half asleep and they're trying to ramp up to the moment. Where are your guys, and how does maybe this environment affect that?
It's a good question. I think we have some emotional guys. Dwayne brings a lot of positive emotion and energy, and he really lives for kind of those moments. I think every college player does to a certain degree. Honestly, every college player misses it. I hate it for all of our athletes, our football players, our basketball players, all of our athletes here. I hate the fact that they're playing in empty stadiums and arenas. But again, they love the opportunity to play. They want the opportunity to play. I think it really is. Every environment is somewhat neutral. Perhaps you have some shooting advantages from although I'm not sure we've seen that. Perhaps you have some shooting advantages from being at a more familiar place, but it's for the most part a neutral environment for everybody. But again, we're glad that we get to play, and we're really fortunate to have 5 games in, and I feel good about being 5-0. But we clearly got a long way to go. We're clearly a work in progress, but I'm excited about doing it with this group.
All righty, Coach. Thank you very much for your time. Have a